Hello and welcome to the third of this special series where we are looking at how India can feel more protected. This, of course, builds off the India Protection Quotient, a special index that is helping us to try and assess exactly how protected India is actually feeling. This special series has been done in partnership with Max Life Insurance as we try and figure out what are the various levels that can be done. So we've looked at the overall protection, we've looked at women. Today, we're going to turn our attention to a very special category, millennials. Now, many people feel that, yeah, millennials, they are young, how does it matter? They've got their entire life ahead of them, not the time to feel protected. But that's not necessarily the case. Let's remember, these are people who are up to the age of 40. Many of them feel underprotected, and they're probably right in feeling underprotected because these are crucial years. Newly married, small children, maybe dependent parents, lots and lots of liabilities, lots of expectations that they're going to have an entire years and years or decades of earnings ahead of them, and then something unforeseen happens. So therefore, perhaps really important to turn our attention to this category and to see how they can be better protected. And joining us to talk about that, Manik Nangia, it's great to have you with us, Director and Chief Operations Officer at Max Life Insurance. Soumya Mohanty is with us, Chief Client Officer at Kantar IMRB, helped us to plan some of this. And two of the top, marketing, advertising, brand building professionals whom I know of. It's a pleasure to have both of you for the first time on a show, at least with me. So Vikram Chandra, the Group CEO of Madison Media, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And Sonal Dabral, Chief Creative Officer, South and Southeast Asia and Vice Chairman at Ogilvy. So it's a privilege to have both of you with us. Before I come to you and to both of you out there and trying to get a sense of what's the best way to actually send the message out, so perhaps I could just start with asking you an interesting question. Many people would feel that if millennials are underprotected, it's partly because they feel invulnerable, right? We are too young, nothing is going to happen to us right now. But if that was the case, then the India Protection Quotient would show them feeling satisfied, adequately protected. Am I right in saying there's a dichotomy there?
No, absolutely. There is an intuitive dichotomy, exactly as you have put it, Vikram. They do feel less protected, which is actually good news. One of the reasons for their feeling less protected is, actually there are multiple reasons, but one of the key reasons is they do rely on their family, both the immediate family and extended family, to look after them in case of an adverse event. And the second is the knowledge. The knowledge index is also on the lower side. So both of these, both knowledge and a feeling that there's a safety net, and hence they probably don't need protection at this moment in time, are the two factors that are working towards it.
Perhaps we should just split up millennials, maybe under 20 and 20 to 40, because theoretically the psychology would work slightly differently to the two. In the first category, yeah, fine, all right, we're literally in college, we need parents and family to look after us. But the second part of it, remember, millennials goes all the way up to 40. Now, if you're 30, 33, 34, 35, you're probably not looking at family or your parents or anybody else to support you. You're earning. You may well be, you're probably married. You probably got young children. In a sense, your need for life insurance arguably should be the maximum in this category. Would you agree with that thesis?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Vikram. Actually, the fundamental of life insurance is to protect the potential cash flow. And when you're younger, quite intuitively, you have a longer tenor of cash flow to protect and the financial contribution that you thus make to your family. However, the strange thing here is that insurance is not an intuitive need. It takes for someone to ask you the question for you to realize the vulnerability. And so the intuitive thing for a youngster, for instance, to do is to first acquire and then get to a stage where they want to protect. Whereas it takes some sane advice, perhaps the kinds that your father gives you when you start to work, which is to first shield and then start to build.
When you start to work, you're probably not listening to your father's advice. Actually, you'll probably stop listening to your father's advice when you're 13 or something like that.
Or actually not, because one of our earlier studies pointed out that 80% of the first life insurance policies that people bought were because of their father's insistence and advice for two reasons. One, The fact that you inherently trusted your father to give you the right advice for what's good for you. And the second, you just couldn't say no.
Okay, couldn't say no. I'm still trying to figure out who all that particular category covers. But Vikram, I just wanted to get you in on the overall question. Millennials underprotected, is there a mismatch there? How does this entire question strike you, given what the data seems to be throwing up?
I think where I'm coming from is that millennials in general want more out of life earlier in life. So they are right now, I think, looking more to acquire things perhaps earlier than our generation did. So to them, a saving like an insurance as a saving may not seem like a good idea. If, however, an insurance is seen as a de-risker or an enabler to achieve those good things in life, and I think Manik alluded to that, I think that is where they probably see it playing a role. Something that can actually help them live the lifestyle they wish to live.
Okay, Sonal, let me get you in on this. Any opening thoughts on why the millennials would be feeling underprotected and why they are underinsured probably?
I think firstly they are underinsured because they all grew up in a more confident generation. And on one hand, there's also been this, in a way, false sense of security. Added to that, the restlessness that Vikram spoke about, which is that I want things faster than my previous generation did. And if you look at all these combination of factors, that is one of the reasons why they are underinsured actually. And I think what happens is that you are underinsured because of a certain reason, because of the times that you've grown up in, because you are more confident. But then you have a child, and that's when it kind of starts to hit you that maybe you are underinsured. So I think a combination of factors that led to them being underinsured, and now this sense coming in that maybe they are underinsured.
Well, let's just get a view in now from Nilesh Sati, who's whole-time director of IRDI. And Nilesh, thanks for being with us once again. I just wanted to ask you this one question that we are discussing millennials right now. And it's interesting because this is potentially a category that should be well-informed, but still comes across as feeling somewhat underprotected. What do you think the government and the industry should be doing to really reach out to this one segment?
See, millennials have got a different set of mind. It's not that those who are of 50 years of age today, they were more interested in talking, discussing, somebody should come over a cup of tea, maybe once or twice, explain the features, and people had a lot of time that time. But now the new millennial doesn't have time. They do not want more amount to be spent with anybody, and the decision making is just instant. So what is important is if they can be sold insurance through online, or if they can access through the web aggregators, comparing the premiums of various insurance companies that offer the same set of benefits, then it becomes easy for them to take a call, and they are more interested in working on computers rather than talking to the people, as we have seen. So even in case of insurance, if that can be done, I think the millennial will get attracted.
Soumya, if I can just come back and let's just look at a close look at this. कुछ हद तक ये कंपटीशन की बात भी हो सकती है कि मेरे पास इतने ही पैसे हैं, अब मुझे EMI भी भरने हैं, सेविंग्स भी करनी है, शादी शायद करानी है, एजुकेशन के लिए पैसा अलग रखना है, म्यूचुअल फंड में डालें कि कहाँ डालें, और उस वजह से शायद हो सकता है कि लोगों को लगे कि लाइफ इंश्योरेंस तो बहुत दूर की बात है, अभी बहुत अन्य इलाके हैं जहाँ पैसा खर्च करना चाहिए।
थोड़ा बहुत ऐसे ही हो रहा है। तो अगर आपने वो जो आप दो ग्रुप्स की बात कर रहे थे, एक वो जो 25 से 30 साल की उम्र में है और आपका जो 30 साल से बड़ी उम्र में है, 25 से 30 साल की उम्र में वो गाड़ी खरीदने का सोच रहे हैं, तो वो उनका उस टाइम का प्रायोरिटी है। जब आप थोड़े बड़े हो जाते हैं तो वो सोच रहे हैं बच्चों के एजुकेशन के बारे में, फिर थोड़ा शादी का भी ख्याल आने लग जाता है, जिन्होंने जल्दी शादी की होगी उनके बच्चे भी बड़े हो रहे हैं। तो ये प्रायोरिटीज़ वर्सेस रिटायरमेंट के लिए सेव करने वाली प्रायोरिटी में रिटायरमेंट वाली प्रायोरिटी थोड़ी डी रिस्क, मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट बिग अ रिस्क, उतना उस बारे में सोच नहीं रहे हैं इस पॉइंट इन टाइम पे, वही हो रहा है।
तो रिटायरमेंट की बात तो दूर की है. अगर आप मान लीजिए 25 साल के हैं या 30 साल के हैं या 35 साल के हैं तो रिटायरमेंट तो बहुत दूर की बात है. पर आप कह रहे हैं कि उनको फिर भी ख्याल रखना चाहिए कि अगर कुछ हो जाए, अगर कुछ अनफोर्सीन हो जाए तो फिर क्या होगा, बच्चों का क्या होगा, वाइफ का क्या होगा, हस्बैंड का क्या होगा, पेरेंट्स का क्या होगा. तो वो सवाल शायद उनके मन में होना चाहिए. बेशक आप रिटायरमेंट के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे.
बिल्कुल. और मैं तो उससे एक कदम आगे जा रहा हूं और मैं ये बोल रहा हूं कि जिम्मेदारियों का एहसास करके लाइफ इंश्योरेंस लेना तो एक बात है, बट अपने आप से समझदारी करके अपने फाइनेंशियल प्लान में डाउनसाइड को प्रोटेक्ट करना या रिस्क को प्रोटेक्ट करना एक दूसरी बात है. एक्चुअली अगर यही सर्वे हम 10 साल पहले करते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि मिलेनियल्स का या उस समय जो लोग 30 से 40 की उम्र में होते उनका ये क्वोशंट और भी लो आता. मेरी समझ में ये जो यंगस्टर्स हैं आज उनकी अवेयरनेस और उनकी एबिलिटी टू प्लान फॉर देयर फ्यूचर काफ़ी हद तक इम्प्रूव हो गई है, बढ़ गई है. और ये हम अपने कस्टमर प्रोफाइल में देखते हैं. हमारी फर्स्ट पॉलिसी वाले कस्टमर अब यंगर हैं पहले से. हमारे कस्टमर्स अब ज़्यादा सम अश्योर्ड लेते हैं और प्रोटेक्शन उनका मेन रीज़न है खरीदने के लिए, ना कि टैक्स बचाना, ना कि खाली एंडाउमेंट्स के लिए खरीदना.
And is that a change? Because traditionally, if you're looking at insurance, it's always been a tax saving instrument or a savings instrument, not a protection instrument. So even if somebody is in the millennial in this age group is saying, okay, fine, I want to get some sort of insurance, they're probably thinking of it more from the point of view what Soumya said, for my retirement, maybe I should start saving. It's not protection. So is that a shift that has to happen? Because traditionally in India, insurance is seen almost as an investment vehicle or a tax saving vehicle, not protection.
And I'm confirming to you, Vikram, that is changing very, very fast. Okay. You look at the average sum assured that we sell today is about 3 times of what we used to sell 10 years ago. And we're only a 20-year-old company.
How would you construct that message if it had to be aimed at the millennials? And I guess even within the millennials, of course, there are different segments of it. Young millennials, slightly older millennials, urban millennials, rural millennials, affluent and non-affluent. But if you had to take some thought of how that messaging should be done, what would be your take? Who wants to go first? Sonal, you want to go first on that and then I'll come to Vikram?
Life insurance or taking insurance not because of some unhoni, to protect against some unhoni, but also protecting the downside.
I don't think it's so much in terms of leaving behind something for your loved ones. It is essentially the kind of lifestyle, and if the kind of, for example, if I wanted to buy a house or buy a car, and if something were to happen to me, the insurance would take care of it. It de-risks the life that I'm leading today, rather than leaving it behind for people behind me. That's something which they aren't thinking. They aren't thinking about their kids, but it de-risks the lifestyle for their family should they actually go tomorrow. Now, how to say it is the part which I think is more interesting. Millennials today are not going to be just passively sitting, waiting for an ad, processing the ad, and then sort of going ahead. These are guys who are digitally connected. We have to be always on. We have to reach them at the time when they probably are looking for a protection or a insurance kind of a message. You need to reach them there. You absolutely need to reach it with a degree of authenticity. There has to be a certain degree of interactivity. These guys are very, very quick. They want to be able to ask a question and they want a response. Now, today's communication capability allows us to do exactly that. The marketer who does that will be talking to this millennial. They also want an easy interface. If they take a little too long on the digital interface, they'll tune off and go somewhere better. So these are a few tips, and I think I had one more. Yeah, I think, oh yes, you have to feature very favorably in reviews. The millennial is constantly seeking reviews and referees from other authentic consumers such as themselves. So I think these are a few of the tips that you really have to do to engage and dial up the protection piece.
All right, so if I could turn to ये सब शहरी इलाकों के लिए शायद ठीक होगा, पर ग्रामीण इलाकों में वहाँ आपको क्या एक तो आईपीक्यू के आंकड़े क्या दिखाते हैं ग्रामीण क्षेत्र के बारे में?
विक्रम, आईपीक्यू एक्चुअली ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में हमने किया नहीं है, लेकिन अगर हम छोटे शहरों की बात करें जहाँ पे आईपी और उसको हम कॉन्ट्रास्ट करें बड़े शहरों के साथ,
और वहाँ से भी शायद कोई इंडिकेशन आ सकते हैं कि ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में क्या होगा?
एब्सोल्युटली, वहाँ से इंडिकेशन आ रहे हैं कि अगर हम ये देखें कि प्रोटेक्शन आईपीक्यू का क्वोशिएंट इटसेल्फ जो मेट्रोज में है और जो छोटे शहरों में है उसमें फ़र्क है। जो छोटे शहरों में है वो कम प्रोटेक्टेड फील कर रहे हैं, एक तो वो बात है। दूसरी बात है कि जो पैसा कितने टाइम, हमने उनसे एक सवाल पूछा था कि कितने टाइम तक आपको लगता है आपका पैसा बचेगा, तो अगर हम उस एंगल से देखें तो दोनों जगहों पे हालत ख़राब है। दोनों जगहों पे बोल रहे हैं कि 30 से 40% लोग बोल रहे हैं कि हमें लगता नहीं है कि 1 साल से ज़्यादा हमारा पैसा बचेगा। 40% छोटे शहरों में, 30% बड़े शहरों में। तो छोटे शहरों में कम प्रोटेक्टेड फील कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ओवरऑल लेवल पर ही मिलेनियल्स में प्रोटेक्शन की आवश्यकता दिखाई दे रही है इस सर्वे के हिसाब से। ग्रामीण में तो और भी ज़्यादा होगी।
At the end of the day, let's look at the situation. Very large section of the population, the millennials, one of the most important categories, they are still underprotected, still not quite sure as to what the merit is. Is there a certain virtue in rethinking the entire concept of insurance? And I'm not talking about the industry as in general. Rethink the concept of the way insurance is traditionally viewed, traditionally sold, traditionally marketed, from being savings, from being endowment, from being tax saving, all of those things to saying, well, you know, this is a completely different, this is why it should appeal to you. Is that some of the things that you think the industry will be doing increasingly? And finding new methods to also market it, as we were hearing.
I think so. I think so. You know, the fact of the matter is that 2/3 of the households own insurance. The awareness of the category and what it does fundamentally is not in question. But a very large part of them still feel underprotected, and that's because of the protection element that is missing in their plan. And so, fundamentally, when you look at it, we're ensuring the future, and because it's out there, it's tougher for a younger person to look out that far into the future.
But why does it have to be the future? Because theoretically you could say, this is life insurance, not the future. You could have a car accident tomorrow. You could go, you're a young person, you may decide to go hang gliding or skiing or doing something crazy, which, you know, maybe somebody who's 70 was not likely to do. Tomorrow there could be an accident, and therefore it's not necessarily something for the future, it is something you should worry about.
Absolutely. The fact of the matter is, how much should you get insured? If you earn, for instance, 5 lakhs today and you're 25, we're the only financial instrument who'll cover you for 1 crore.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to give you a loan for 1 crore if you earn 5 lakhs. Nobody is going to give you a credit card limit if you earn 5 lakhs. The fact is that our industry and the model is built on potential, and for a youngster to realize that, it needs good advice to say protection is the foundation. There's one more thing, however, which is that wherever in jurisdictions insurance is a much larger part of people's financial plan, there are incentives that the government's offered for youngsters to take it on. Incentives could be in the form of tax, otherwise, because
they do have some incentives in tax, but maybe they can come up with one. Okay, last quick lines from everybody else also. Vikram, last quick line from you.
I'll say, live the life you want to lead when you're protected by insurance.
Okay, Sonal, last line, अगर आपको कुछ कहना है?
कि मतलब wind beneath the wings everybody talks about. You know, I think protection, if you have protection, that wind becomes more powerful behind your wings, under your wings. So you can take longer and higher and longer flight.
That's actually a good way of looking at it. The concept of a safety net, I guess, is something important for people who are young. आखिर में सौम्या, आप कुछ कहेंगी?
हाँ, बस आई थिंक एक चीज़ इस डिस्कशन से जो निकल के आ रही है कि बहुत ज़्यादा फ्यूचर के लोग सोचना नहीं चाहते हैं, लेकिन अपने करंट लाइफस्टाइल को प्रोटेक्ट करना, जितने टाइम तक आप प्रोटेक्ट कर सकें, अगर उस फिलॉसफी के साथ इंश्योरेंस को देखा जाए तो शायद नेक्स्ट टाइम सर्वे करेंगे तो रिजल्ट कुछ डिफरेंट ही आएगा.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to leave it there for the moment. Thank you all so much for joining us. But yes, you know, these are the sort of financial questions I think it's important to start looking at. Even if you're young, even if you're a millennial, you think you're invulnerable, you've got your entire life ahead of you, you've got to start thinking about some of these things. What happens to your financial savings? Are you saving up enough money for your retirement? Are you not busting up everything that you've got? And also, if something untoward was to happen, are you insured or are you not insured? So these are some of the questions. It's worth starting that debate and getting people thinking, which essentially is what we've been trying to do. Thanks for watching.